Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying... just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Movie Night, we are back with another episode, and this week we are talking about 1993's Dollman versus Demonic Toys, as picked by me. Yes, that's right. Years before the View Askewniverse or the MCU, Charles Band brought together all of your favorite characters from all the full moon releases from the year prior into one mega movie.
God,
and we're here to talk about it.
The hilarity of this is that this movie is under an hour.
Yep.
And just, I mean, I would say at least 10 minutes of that 52-minute runtime, I want to say it is just shit from other movies.
Yeah, clips from other movies. So I thought, hey, this is a nice, easy one. So here's the reality of why I picked this. Honestly, I just really like the demonic toys. I like looking at the demonic toys. And we already did the first one. And, like, spoiler alert, from here...
And we won't do the third one.
Well, I was going to say, from here, they get real fucking lazy with the toys, and they're, like, not puppets anymore. So I was like, I just want one last hurrah looking at Jack Attack the way Jack Attack is supposed to fucking look.
I wonder how much the guy who voiced Jack Attack got paid for this, because all he does is, wah-ha-ha! Like, that's all he does.
Yeah. It's insane.
Are we sure that's not a library sound? Like, do they not have that in the Charles Band?
No, there are actors assigned to every single toy in the credits. Which is
at least
insane.
Somebody's getting paid.
The movie starts off with Judith from the first film, and she's still traumatized by the events of demonic toys. Check out Horror Movie Night episode 163 for more information on what happened there.
I will.
And she's been checking the warehouse where demonic toys takes place every night, confident that one day the toys are going to return. It's at night when a drunk bum hits his head and basically bleeds every single ounce of blood that was inside of his body.
Should have worn a helmet. I had to rewind. I missed the fall, and I thought
I rewound it a second time.
Attacked him.
Yeah, no.
Nope, just slipped.
The thing about that is that, Matt doesn't know this, but when you drink, the alcohol thins your blood. That's what happened. The guy was fucking wasted. The best line in the whole movie, because there are some banger lines in this movie.
I have at least one written down.
I have more. I have literally all of my notes are just quotes. Lines. Mostly it's Dollman, but I love that the drunk, unhoused man is like, I'm warm and dry. Well... not too dry, and then he takes another swig from his bottle of mysterious booze, and then he is playing on a tricycle. I believe that a box falls on his head and he falls over and bleeds out, and that it resurrects the demonic toys from 1 year prior, and they escape Judith, who is on suspension, right?
Yeah, she's on suspension. Look, I did my homework, and I actually watched at least 2 of the 3 movies that are tie-ins to this prior to watching this.
So you watch Demonic Toys and Bad Channels, right?
Shut up. Yes, obviously. Although Dollman would still be a fun one to watch one of these days, but it's way less horror than the other two. And we're in October, and I was like, I feel like revisiting these because I haven't watched either in a while.
I don't know, dude. Fucking Sprug, when they showed him in the flashback,
Yeah.
I was like,
He
that's
looks
kind of
great.
gnarly.
Yeah.
Like, that looked great. It made me, if there's anything that this movie did, it did make me want to
watch the other ones?
Well, Dollman,
Just
they
Dollman.
were really. I think that they thought that they had another franchise with Dollman. Like I thought that they were like, this is our Trancers. Like this, we had Trancers on
they really
Empire.
wanted it.
We got Dollman here at Full Moon.
It's kind of a fucked up name for like 1990 or whatever. Like, I don't think anybody was going to see Dollman, and that's like a problem with society. I'm not saying that that's a Charles Band problem. I just don't think that you could sell an action movie called Dollman.
I don't think
it's
that
a
they had to
sci-fi
worry
action
about
movie.
someone seeing it in the theaters in the first place. I think that they just had the gnarly poster and people said, "Oh, okay, I get it. He's called Dollman. He's tiny." But yeah, so the blood is what resurrects the demonic toys. Now with a new Army Man demonic
I love
toy.
him.
Yeah.
He's the best part of this movie.
Name I don't totally understand, which is Zombitoid. Just call him Army Man. Like, I don't know where that name came from.
G.I. Schmo. It's
yeah,
really
G.I.
easy.
Oh my
G.I.
God,
Schmo.
G.I. Schmo should have been it.
Super easy. He also looked like kind of like Max Headroom a little bit.
Oh,
like,
he looked a
like
lot
big-
like Max Headroom. Meanwhile, we jump to Nurse Ginger, who's still roughly 1 inch tall from the ending of Bad Channels. Check out Horror Movie Night,
Didn't
episode
Dollman
181.
keep talking about that he was a foot tall? Because he's like, I wish I was 5 feet taller. So are they both a foot tall?
They're both about a foot tall. So here's my favorite part about Nurse Ginger being in this movie. If you watch Bad Channels, she's not the one that stays shrunk.
Oh my God.
It's the high schooler bunny that stays shrunk. And Kyle, I'm not sure if you remember this conversation we had with Eli, because the psychopath that we know and love, Eli, has watched all, I think he said 14 films that tied to the demonic
he
toys
did.
world.
Yeah, he did.
Because they have like Baby
He was
Oopsie
sick.
Daisy trilogy,
Yeah.
and there's like a Jack Attack franchise. Like, there's all this stuff. But he pointed out, he's like, I think they made that change when they realized that they were going to mash Dollman up with the person who is shrunk, because he is a noticeably 50-year-old man and she's playing an 18-year-old high school student.
Yes.
And they're like,
Okay.
they're like, oh no, let's just have it be the nurse instead, because
But maybe we're giving Richard Band too much credit here, because he is an absolute lech based on the script work for Baby Oopsie. In
look,
this.
we'll get to the third act in a second. We're still doing the recaps.
Oh God, man.
Which is the first and second act, kind of.
Yes,
of this
Basically,
of this
Dollman does in
movie.
fact visit Nurse Ginger, and for Dollman, I just said coming soon one day on Horror Movie Night, I suppose, because she's the only other 1 inch person that he's aware of. And he makes his presence known by killing a giant spider way before he had enough screen time. I wanted a little bit more of that fake ass spider.
He just sort of like Clint Eastwooded the whole fucking thing. Like, I don't know.
I
He
love
just
that
sort
it
of,
had
like,
so much
came
goo
in and-
inside it.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
it was a gooey ass spider. Well, I guess when you are that tall, that is like a tidal wave of goo coming from the spider guts. Like, you don't realize it when you just pinch them between your fingers as a human. But
Well, Judith connects with Dollman and Nurse Ginger, and she convinces them that they have to go to the toy warehouse with them. And I find it hilarious that Ginger is now fully in love with a man that she met just a few minutes earlier in this movie.
I think that the
she's just a
sex was
horn
so
dog.
good. Yeah, she was very horny.
I mean,
he
listen.
was like, when can I meet a person my size?
Yeah, Tim Thompson looks like he knows how to fuck.
I think he knows how to fuck a watermelon. That dude is ugly as shit.
They show up, and then immediately Judith is killed. Like, they get to the warehouse.
Yes! Oh my God, so quickly. And
So
now all
quickly.
we are left with is just little tiny people. And I'm sorry, I have a little tiny drink.
Oh, yeah,
for the
no,
little
drinks.
tiny people that remain. I just have an Old Smoky's Hunch Punch, which is a little tiny mason jar with a little tiny fruit punch because they're demonic toys.
Hunch Punch sounds like a name that Charles Band would give to a toy or puppet in one of these
Absolutely.
franchises.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
What
I
about you,
have,
Scott?
thanks to Megan, she came in clutch. She said, why don't we do Are We Having Fun Yet with a sad clown?
Yes.
Because when you're
Because
at
that
Toy-
sums up the viewing
Toyland-
experience of this.
Yeah, well, I was not having fun. It was an amazing film in that it got worse by the 38-minute mark, I was like, is this shit over yet?
Yeah.
And it wasn't over yet. And I only had 20 more minutes.
Yeah,
if that,
it clocks in at 1 hour and 1 minute, and obviously some of that is credits. So,
and it's slow credits. Like they were really stretching to get to that hour.
This was unbelievable. Anyway, continue with
so
whatever this is.
So I wanna quickly mention that Judith dying fully negates everything that happened in the previous movie. Because if you remember, in the previous movie, the Master wants to take over Judith's child, and there's this whole thing where her child as a her unborn baby as a 12-year-old boy shows up, and they have this very sweet moment. He's like, I can't wait to hang out with you, Mommy. And she's like, yes. Yeah, well, now Judith's dead, so that kid's an orphan. That's fucked up. Like, that's just like completely, it's like really just like dampers the whole thing. Then it's basically just like a 20-minute war film between Ginger, Dollman, and these toys. But I have some things I want to call out. There's a few things that I enjoy.
I'm interested in what you think needs to be called out in these last 20 minutes.
Like there's things like I love Ginger being chased through the air ducts by Jack Attack. Like there's like
the
little
air ducts
ideas.
are the coolest.
Yeah,
the air ducts are the coolest set piece.
The mini the big sets for the mini people are really the selling point for this movie.
I love the desk that they had woke up in, or like the countertop or whatever. Like I thought that was great.
The DVD comes with they used to do a thing called Video Zone on the VHS tapes, which was Charles Band's concept of like a video magazine. Unfortunately, you can't get like the full like 20-30 minute video magazines unless someone's like uploaded them onto YouTube now.
Okay.
But the DVDs always have the making of segment from Video Zone, and watching like the actors walk around the sets and like showing how like it is, you're just like, this is for how low budget this movie is. Like I get why they had to use so much recycled footage, because they probably spent a fuck ton building all of these brand new sets to do this forced perspective. I love that Jack Attack is so much bigger than Dollman and Ginger. Like I love that it's like this giant inflatable head when they like jump on him. Like there's elements of that I think are funny. I got a real laugh out of them using the toy record player to play a record at one point in the movie. But the biggest problem with this is like, Baby Oopsie Daisy is real fucking cringy.
Dude, he's real rapey.
He's a rapist.
Rapey. Like, which is, and like in a capital R, like rape, but you know, like I know, like when there's, you know, we've seen questionable shit and there's ill intentions and you can allude to this, but no, no, this is pretty rough.
I think the only thing that helps with that, the scenes that we're referring to, which are very uncomfortable in the dollhouse, is the fact that it's made mildly less creepy by this outrageous giant doll costume that some poor intern has to wear.
Smacking at Ginger. That is
like,
the saving grace.
If you put it on mute for 5 to 10 minutes of this moment, it's pretty fucking funny.
Like that's the thing. Just ignore everything that's being said and everything in the plot, and you're like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Scott, I want to know some of the quotes that you wrote down, because
they're all from Dollman.
Well, because I have one from Baby Oopsie Daisy, which was just a turn of phrase where she said,
I know which one it
but
is.
you're a fucking doll.
Yeah.
And he said, that's right, I'm a fucking toy. Or she said, you're a fucking toy. And he goes, that's right, I'm a fucking toy.
Yeah, I wrote that down too.
Wild turn of phrase.
Yeah. I mean, truly, if Baby Oopsie only said that, much better movie.
Great.
Shut the fuck up for the rest of your massive amount of lines for this. I believe that Baby Oopsie and Dollman have equal lines, which is nuts. So, but some of the shit that I loved was, so Judith comes in and she's shooting in the air duct in the first scene, and she goes, "You're letting the toys win," which is like such a fucking funny line, because she is so serious. I mean, she was so serious in the last one too, but then we get just so many banger lines from the Dollman. He goes, "Hey buddy, you seen a girl around here about my size, because he's looking for Ginger, and he shows up. And Phil Fondacaro, I believe.
Yeah.
No.
So
no,
short, yeah.
Well,
It's
No, it's
not
Phil.
Phil
He's
Fondacaro. He's in this movie, but he doesn't have any one-liners with Phil Fondacaro. It's the guy. I believe he's a large Hispanic man. He's like looking down, like what? And Dollman's like, "What's the matter? You never seen a cop before?"
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I loved the. Have you never seen a cop before? And he does the craziest gun twist that I've ever seen. Like, because it's not a cop thing to do. So
No.
I've never seen you before, Scott. I'm sorry, I totally.
Oh, I only have one more.
Yeah.
It's when he shoots the spider and saves Ginger. He goes, "Don't worry, exterminator's here." They should not work, but they work so well.
I think it does make me want to. Scott, you've seen all three: Demonic Toys, Dollman, Bad Channels?
No, I've never seen Dollman. I'm waiting for Matt to make me watch it.
Yeah,
I'm at a point in my
that's not
life
one
where
you
I'm not gonna seek out full moon stuff anymore. Like
Yeah,
I've
you
done
don't-
it.
Listen,
you know,
you don't need
burned
to.
too
And
much.
I was thinking about this the other day when I was watching this, because I was like, man, the first 2 years of this podcast, we really did burn through the best of the best 90s. Like, even movies that I don't love that much, like Subspecies and Seed People, still
Those were the ones
scratch. They scratch an itch where it's like Dollman versus Demonic Toys really starts to feel like the beginning of the end of the full moon movies that I want to actively watch. The more that we shift away from stop motion, the more we shift away from puppets and big. I mean, they never stop being practical effects, but these big elaborate effects, and turn into the cheapo, we're just going to knock out a movie in a weekend and put it on streaming the next month. It just becomes real rough. Do you think this is a very weird factoid I just looked up, but I think the reason why they had to kill Judith off so quickly is the same year that this movie came out, that actress was one of the leads on Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
oh shit, who was she?
She was Cat Grant in the first season. She was a main cast member in the first season. I just looked that up because I know that on the Video Zone, they're like, we've got Tracy, this movie's starring so-and-so from Dynasty.
Dynasty.
I was like, this girl took a step down from Dynasty to do a full moon film.
Listen, y'all got to eat, all right?
Listen, I agree. But that's all that, listen, we should not have an episode about this movie that's longer than the movie. That's psychotic.
Yes.
So I think this is the right spot for us to stop. And it's double feature time, and I'm going to pick a much better part 2 in Full Moon Pictures, which is obviously Puppet Master Part 2. Right up there with Part 3 is the best of the Puppet Master movies.
It's because you get to kill Nazis in part 3.
Yeah, you kill Nazis in Part 3, and Part 2 introduces Torch.
Yeah, actually, I think that of all of them, part 2 might be the best, as far as rewatchability goes.
It is, I agree. I think so, too. I also think it's the last one where, not for nothing, but I don't want to see the puppets as heroes. When they turn them anti-hero,
yeah,
I'm like, no, I like the puppets as the villains, and that's the last of them being the villains. So
yeah, when you start killing Nazis, you become a hero. So you have to. Yeah, unfortunately,
and then they just keep that going for 15 more movies.
They kill a
they're
lot.
Still
of
doing
Nazis.
it, dude. I don't think they were.
Oh my god, can we remake Inglourious Bastards with the Puppet Master puppets?
Why, dude? It's literally Puppet Master 3. Inglourious Bastards is the remake of Puppet Master 3.
But I will say, credit where credit's due. Remember 2019 they did Littlest Reich, and it was shockingly good.
It wasn't so bad, but that also is because it had legitimate actors in it, and I don't know how.
It wasn't in Charles Band's hand at all. It was
Yes.
he signed off the rights for someone else to make a Puppet Master movie.
This is the sound of your ride home with Dad after he caught you vaping. Awkward, isn't it? Most vapes contain seriously addictive levels of nicotine and disappointment. Know the real cost of vapes. Brought to you by the FDA.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
You've been lost in the woods for hours now, stumbling around in the dark. You come around the bend and see 2 people roasting marshmallows over a roaring fire. They see you coming into the clearing and gesture over to pull up a log. Welcome to Campfire Ashes. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jess. Join us as we tell each other our originally written spooky stories around the campfire and then dive into the lore and legends that inspired them. Is it something that goes bump in the night? Is it something menacing lurking past the tree line? Or is it just weird and otherworldly? You'll find it here on Campfire Ashes.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or right here on the Geekscape Network.
Well, I mean, I really don't think that there's any way to salvage this night. I'm just going to go with other short terrors that I love. I'm going to go Ghoulies 2.
Ooh.
Oh, very cool.
Another part 2.
This is amazing because we're all going to pick a part 2 because I'm going to go Child's Play 2.
Yes.
You know that makes Matt happy.
Yeah, dude, oh my God, I love that. Shark's back.
Well,
but I do like the toy store element, or like the toy warehouse sort of element of it all, and obviously that's, they do that in the first, but the second really gives it to us.
Well,
I think they
you
play
also
it up
get
a lot
melted
more.
Chucky, so
yeah, right. Like we solidify that, like these toys, like this toy is fucking pretty rough.
I've said before that the third act of Child's Play 2 might be one of my favorite set pieces in like any movie.
it makes sense though for who you are. It absolutely makes sense.
It just works so much.
No negativity there. Literally, it's just it makes total sense.
Listen, and you know what else makes total sense? Going to patreon.com/HMM podcast and becoming a patron, supporting us. Go into our website, hmmpodcast.com, buying a couple t-shirts. Also, while you're at it, go and visit us on all social medias. We're HMN Podcast pretty much everywhere. So go find us, chat it up with us. We're very friendly. We don't bite. And don't forget, on December 6th, we will be on the Geekscape holiday live stream. So you don't want to miss out on us with our friends in the Jersey Ghouls as we rank the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise from worst to best. It's going to be a sight to be seen. Kyle, did you give me a finger up because you have something? And Kyle also has something that he needs to promote. So let's pass the mic to Kyle.
Yes, pass me the mic. So I thank you for those listeners who have followed on Main Menu Loops. I have had a couple people actually say that they've heard about it on HMN, which is very cool. But I do want to sort of promote an adjacent thing. I started this free Blockbuster, which is exactly how it sounds. It's a kind of like a little free library, but for physical media instead. It's been really exciting. I've opted to follow the Blockbuster protocol and put an update out every Friday, the same way that like new releases would drop on Fridays. So I'm
nice.
You can find all of this information, all of these updates either on TikTok at Main Menu Loops or on Instagram now at Free Blockbuster SECT. That stands for Southeastern Connecticut because we are the only free Blockbuster in Southeastern Connecticut. And I'll be posting the updates there. I am going to take it inside for the winter.
Yeah.
It's by the road. The snow blowers between the road and the sidewalk snow blowers will do it in, and nobody's walking at that point. So I think I'll probably take it in. I don't know. It depends. New England winters are odd. So it just depends on, I'm going to play it by ear. Definitely, I'm going to wait till after Halloween. So it's already probably gone by the time you're hearing this, but I'll be posting updates. I keep finding new and fun things to do with it. But then also on TikTok on Main Menu Loops, I just post daily DVD menus, and it's a lot of fun. We had a great October posting a countdown to Halloween. In the middle of October, my I updated my Mac and my fucking video capture program just stopped working. So I'm going into like some pretty deep backlogs of DVDs of movies that people may or may not give a shit about. But we had a lot of fun in October, and it's now up and running, hopefully. And yeah, so that's the thing that I have to promote. I don't have DIY projects that are not like film, like filming related. Like this is still film related, but it's so much more than that. So if that kind of thing interests you, that's where you can find us. Go back 2 minutes beyond my rambling, and you can hear the handles again.
All right. Well, talking about things that we recommend, either you were listening to it, you were reading it, you were watching it.
I'm sorry. I have a question about Demonic Toys versus Dollman. Reverse that. Where was Quiet Riot? They credited Quiet Riot up at the top of the film, and I did not hear them fucking once.
It's a deep cut, dude. I don't know what it was.
I was like, I'm looking now.
It has to be that song that Phil Fondacaro was like air guitaring to.
You're probably right. And then the other question, we must have talked. We either talked about this on air or off air, but who is our most watched actor on Horror Movie Night? Phil might be in the top.
Phil?
5.
No, it's not Phil. We have talked about this, and it was a surprise, wasn't it? It was just
we talked about it wasn't an actor; it was a special effects person.
Oh,
that we
the special
were
effects guy.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There is a person on Letterboxd who has put almost all of our talked about movies on a list. They're a little behind, and I'm going to duplicate it and try to see if I can get that information for our next recording, because I am interested to see what the most talked about actor, director, special.
Get us the numbers, Kyle.
I want the stats.
Yes.
I want the stats. But I thought Phil might be up there, honestly. I feel like I talked about him a lot.
I don't think he's even in the top 10.
But
really?
But Kyle, I'm on IMDb right now for the movie.
Yeah.
According to IMDb, Quiet Riot has 5 songs in Dollman vs. Demonic Toys.
So you're saying almost every 10 minutes, Quiet Riot plays.
Yeah,
the
only music cue that's not Quiet Riot, and this blew my mind when I said it when we did Bad Channels, and it's going to blow my mind again when I say this out loud. The only music cue that's not Quiet Riot is when they do the flashback to Bad Channels and they play the theme from Bad Channels because it's Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh yeah, that's right, Blue Oyster Cult. God damn, that's so wild.
They really missed
a dark time for Blue Oyster
to team
Cult.
up with Dangerous Toys.
Yeah,
like it's really easy.
Look,
and they fucked it up.
Que sera. Anyway, so the thing I'm going to recommend, I actually talked 2 weeks ago about when I read the book Hot Dog Girl by Jennifer Dugan. I read another Jennifer Dugan book, which was called Some Girls Do. And like I said before, I mean, listen, I do a podcast about young adult novels, YAOK. Go ahead and subscribe to it. There's nothing I can say about this that's different than any other young adult novel. If you, like me, enjoy reading books where teenagers discover their sexual identity, then you will love Some Girls Do, which is basically what that's about.
Hey, Matt, you might want to wordsmith that next time.
Listen.
Some Girls Do.
It is what it is. But those... I've said it before. There's a very specific format to young adult novels, and it works. It works for me every single time. I always find myself getting teary-eyed as I read someone like finding their community and finding where they belong in the world. And Some Girls Do is, I don't know if I like it more than Hot Dog Girl, but it's Jennifer Dugan is like officially established herself as like an author I'm going to buy all of the books from. I actually really want to read. Her newest one's called Last Girl Standing. That is like a YA horror novel about like a survivor girl type situation. So I'm excited to see how that is. I heard from Alyssa, who hosts that show, YAOK, that she read it and she loved it and then felt like on the last page she yelled, "Jen, why would you do me dirty like this?" So I'm very excited to see what happens and how the last page may or may not piss me off. But floor is open to you two. What do you guys want to promote?
Well, I went last time, so I don't want to last time, so I don't want to go. But I do have a glowing review for Cuckoo 2024. And spoiler free, just like I did with The Substance last week. I would not say it's my favorite horror movie of the year. That is still The First Omen, but it is damn good. Super fun movie. It kind of set up exactly what I was expecting and did it. And Dan Stevens plays a great character. I mean, like, Dan Stevens, this is the year for Dan Stevens in kind of schlocky horror movies. So, I mean, Cuckoo is great. Don't think too hard about it and just enjoy the ride, and you will be a happy kiddo. I highly recommend it. It's definitely one of the better movies this year that have come out, and it, once it hits streaming or wherever you can watch it, please do so, because it is worth the watch.
Did either of you see Luz or Luz?
It's been on my... Is that the same director?
Yes.
Director?
Yeah.
It's
same
been
director.
on my
It's
Shudder watch list for forever.
Over or under an hour. It's it doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but I do think that if you liked Cuckoo, it's worth spending the hour-ish with it.
I didn't realize it was so short.
It's not super long. We were on the festival circuit with it with Survival of Film Freaks, and it was probably one of my favorites that I had seen in the festivals. It's very cool. So I think that's easily available too. But
it's on Shudder. It's on my Shudder watch list.
Oh, it is on Shudder. Okay, great.
I mean, it is as of this recording. I don't know if it will be when this comes out, but I'm hoping it is.
Got it. Cuckoo, I've been eager to see. So again, if you've listened to the show, you know that I'm bad at TV. But we had a friend visit who is very good at TV. Hunter's godmother came to visit this weekend, and we got into Nobody Wants This on Netflix. Adam Brody and Kristen Bell. Comedy, like half-hour episodes. Hit fucking 10 episodes for the season 1, and we watched the whole thing this weekend. And
wow.
Yeah. And I know that like there are people out there that watch a lot more TV, and that might not, those numbers might not, that doesn't matter. But to me, this was kind of a big deal. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought that the comedy, the writing, the characters, and the heart, I do think that it leads with comedy, though there is like a romantic comedy version, a romantic comedy lens to put on it, but it really is. It's funny. I've always liked Kristen Bell a lot, but to see Adam Brody kind of come in and do some funny shit too, that's aside from his sort of like teen young adults thing, like hunkish shit. Yeah, right, exactly. Like to see him come in and do that, and there's a great cast of supporting characters. I thought it was great, and it got renewed pretty quickly for a season 2. I don't know what more to say about it other than if you're just looking for like a comedy that moves quickly, that also has some heart and investment that you want to give to it, but that doesn't like require like it will reward you in the end, but it doesn't require the investment. I think it's great. I really, really enjoyed it. And also it's like, if you're listening to a podcast, it's also about a podcast. Like one of the characters is a podcast host. So you get a little bit of dynamic to like, they host a podcast with their sister. So there's like this familial dynamic about like family business, but that family business is like a creative podcast business. It's very fun.
Nice. Very, very cool. Also very, very cool, Dollman versus the Demonic Toys.
Shut up.
So stay tuned. Next week we'll talk about something that's almost as good as it, I'm sure. So subscribe, like, review, all of that good jazz, and we'll see you next week on Horror Movie Night.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.